We're halfway through the college football season, and I've been going over my midseason 2026 NFL draft rankings, and now we return to the trenches, going over my top 10 offensive tackles in today's video. But stick around to the end. I'm going to go over some honorable mentions, but with that being said, number 10. Cage Casey out of Boise State. He's 6'5", 316 pounds. I currently have a third-round projection on him. That's more of a back end of the third-round projection, and he was a former three-star recruit coming out of the 2022 recruiting class, and he has been at Boise State since the beginning, redshirted his freshman year, so he's a redshirt junior, could end up returning, maybe transferring to the Power 4, and he's a guy that's turned down for the last couple of years, multiple Power 4 offers. So could realistically come back if he wants to, but his play has been stellar throughout the course of his career, became a full-time starter in 2023. And he brings prototypical tackle size and should have about average length. Typically, you're looking for 33-inch arms, and they should be right around there. Maybe it's just the tackle class and the lack of length we have in this tackle class. There's a little paranoia in the back of my head, but he is just feels like a high floor player. He keeps a good pad level, will sink the hips on contact, plays with active hands. There's a little pop there as well. So he whether it's at the point of attack or when he needs to clear his pads, clear his strike zone, he does a good job of that. Rarely does he overextend when letting his hands go. He plays with good balance, good arm extension, will keep the legs churning through contact. He was only flagged once coming into the season, was flagged twice this year in the New Mexico game. Has a lot of special team snaps under his belt. He's a team captain. There's just a lot to like about Casey that gives him just a good high floor feel. There will be times where he oversets and he will give defenders the opportunity to cross his face to the inside. And I think we saw that in the South Florida game at the beginning of the year, the season opener. But since then, he's been very good, very reliable. The anchor does struggle here and there versus guys that are good at turning speed into power and won't always maintain leverage throughout the whole rep, throughout contact in the run game. There are times he does get a little too upright, but at the end of the day, man, I think he's just an exceptionally solid prospect that people are going to sleep on just because of how consistently good he is, even if some of his traits aren't going to like pop off paper. At number 9, it's Carter Smith out of Indiana. He's 6'5", 308 pounds. He has arguably been the best tackle in football this season, and the reason he's not higher on this list is, well, maybe a lack of the physical tools, and I'll get into that. He is a redshirt junior, another guy that could come back, has the another year of eligibility, but former 4-star out of the 2022 recruiting class, very fluid athlete. His kick slide is so smooth and just smooth feet in pass pro, displays good ability to mirror defenders. He keeps his hands active, even though there might be, again, now we're going to go back to this, might be questions about the arm length, but because there are times where he does lean into the point of attack and does create some balance issues, but he shows a solid anchor, active feet. He won't just dance in space. He finds busy work if he needs to, solid movement skills, and he just has that dog in him when it comes to the run game. He really does. He's always looking for someone to hit, good amount of special teams experience, especially on the field goal unit. But when I mentioned maybe the lack of high-end or elite physical tools, it starts with the length. There are times where he stops his feet on contact. He can get stuck behind the 8-ball on secondary moves because those feet just stop. There are times time and time again, maybe he dips his head on contact, which that's a big no-no. You know, don't know exactly what the defender is doing if your head is down. While he's a dog in the run game, I don't think he creates or at least generates a lot of movement, or there's a lot of power, I guess, behind his whether it's his upper body or full body strength. And you could maybe even pitch maybe a switch to guard in the NFL, but I think he could stick it out at tackle and could be a guy that steadily moves up this list. It's just simply he's outclassed by guys with maybe better upside. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. Coming in at number 8, it's Isaiah World of Oregon. He's 6'5", 321 pounds. Another guy I have a third round projection on. Started his career at Nevada in 2021, where he was a 3-star recruit coming out of the city of San Diego. But he redshirts his freshman season. This is his redshirt senior year. He played 4 years with Nevada before transferring to Oregon. And to be fair, I think his play has been very good this year. Outside of the Penn State game, he played well against teams with honestly good pass rushers in Indiana, against Rutgers. And I get why a lot of people were high on him coming into the season in terms of, well, they expect the step up in competition based on some of the tools. Because while he's got towering height, massive wingspan, he just, I think, moves pretty well. You look at his body and it doesn't feel like, it feels like he carries his weight exceptionally well, that it's not just too much mass. And I think at Nevada, he was playing about 20 pounds lighter or 15 pounds lighter, but the knee bend is good. He's able to sink and get good leverage. He displays some very quick feet out of his stance. The ability to mirror defenders is very good. The arm length, the arm extension, you love to see it. He does a good job picking up blitzes or stunts or extra pressure or extra rushers. His understanding of blocking angles is also very good as well. He does a good job with leverage. Just my hiccups with him and why, because I see this guy's name thrown in the first round time and time again, and I'm not there with it. I don't know if I ever will be there with it, but there are times where there's a little waist bending, and I think it's less so this year. The Penn State game was a little more prevalent, but I think it is a little bit less so this season that he put on extra mass, got stronger. As a run blocker, the pad level does rise a little bit, negating his leg drive and causes his ability to generate movement to kind of peter out. The hand placement could be a bit more precise. I feel like a lot of his punches or strikes don't always necessarily hit home, or they slip off the edge of defenders. There are times where he does get overextended, or he does overextend and gets yanked, and balance could be an issue time and time again. I would like to say the penalties have been better this year, but they're still relatively high. I mean, we're halfway through the season. I feel like he's probably going to get close to about 10 penalties, if not 8, which is still a high number. If you look over the course of his career, his freshman year was, or redshirt freshman year was 13 penalties. Year after that, 11. Last year, 8. This year, right now at 4. But I feel like as competition gets tougher, maybe that number goes up. But I get why people are high on World. I'm not there, and I don't think I ever will be. At number 7 is kind of my guy. It's Monroe Freeland out of Georgia. He's 6'7", 315 pounds. I have a midday 2 grade on him. He is a true junior, so he does have the option to return, but he's a former 4-star recruit from the 2023 recruiting class. Also played basketball in high school. Last year, he started the final 5 games at left tackle for Georgia, but he has experience also at right tackle. If I may have mixed that up, but he started the final games at left. He does have experience at right. So you like to see that he has experience on both sides of the line currently, or at least since the Kentucky game in week 6. He's been playing through an ankle injury. And if you want to know what has he done during that time, well, he's allowed no pressures against teams like Auburn and Ole Miss. He's played really good football. He really has. And he looks more like a jumbo tight end. He carries his weight exceptionally well. He moves exceptionally well. He's explosive off the line. He is quick to get out in front of screens and stretch plays. He just has that dog in him as well. He is physical. He keeps his feet moving in the run game. He loves being the aggressor. He loves throwing strikes, sometimes to his own detriment because he does overextend a little bit. It leads to a few whiffs. You could go back to the Tennessee game where I think it was a strip sack where Joshua Josephs just caught him reaching and was like, all right, I'm just going to kind of swib club move around you. And that's what happened. I like the long strides, kind of helps him cover a lot of ground quickly, whether you're asking him to combo block or get out in front as a pooler. He hits the second level with urgency. Every moment of engagement looks like a fight with him, and I just love it. I love it. Leverage at 6'7" is going to be a problem. You're going to hear I've been saying this for years now. Skyscraper, tall tackles, they're always going to struggle with leverage. It's just going to be a thing. When guys can get under you, then it makes it a little easier to uproot you and move you. I kind of already mentioned the overextending. The hands will come in low, and it kind of looks like he's trying to uncoil. Like he coils up and then bam, when it's just like, okay, hands up, strike. You just do that. You're wasting too much time reeling back for like this haymaker. The kick slide technique does look a bit awkward. This is his first year as a full-time starter, but I love the potential. I really, really do. At number 6, it's my guy, Caleb Tiernan out of Northwestern. He's 6'7", 320 pounds. I have a top 50 grade on him, whether he ends up being a tackle at the next level, which could, but at 6'7", apparently the arm length, not nearly as great. Or he could kick into guard, where I don't love tall guards, specifically for pass pro in a league where it feels like the quarterback position keeps getting shorter and shorter. But he can do that because he's just so exceptionally solid. He's a redshirt senior, so he is coming out this year. He's from the 2021 recruiting class. He plays with a good wide base. He's probably one of the most well put together pass protectors. I think he's already had good games against like Oregon, who, I mean, that's taken on Mateo Uiagalelei, who had to move to the other side really just to get any pressure in that game against Northwestern. And I mean, Northwestern low key has been a good team this year, but against Oregon, yeah, they're obviously a little outmatched, outclassed, but he was easily the best player on the field for Northwestern. Penn State did have a bit of a hiccup, but I mean, you're taking on, it's not like it was a bad game from him, but you're taking on guys like Denai Dennis Sutton, who's going to be in this world of day 2, early day 3 type of pick. They have a freshman there that's really, really good. So it is what it is. For the most part, he has been shut down. Smooth kick slide. The footwork is wonderful with him. The hand placement and the technique is phenomenal. Despite the height, I think there's some flexibility in how he plays. The hips sink well. He keeps a good pad level despite being so stinking tall. He's able to sniff out secondary moves and counters and deals with them accordingly. Never felt like he was out-muscled in any given game. He handles power rushers pretty darn well. He has also the power to drive defenders in the run game, and he redirects with very strong hands. However, again, maybe limited length at that size. He moves well for his size, but speed rushers can get the best of him around the arc, which that might mean instead of being put on an island, you just kick inside to play in a phone booth. Violence as a run blocker kind of comes and goes. It's here and there. I don't think he consistently plays with that dog in him in the run game, and occasionally he will miss delayed blitzers, but that's more of an interior issue than an outside issue. Can become bad if they're blitzing from the 5 tech or wider. Because, I mean, you don't want to give guys just a straight line, straight shot to the quarterback. But I like Tiernan, whether he's a guard or a tackle. I think he's a top 50 player. Before we get to our next tackle, I got to talk about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Download the app, sign up, promo code Broshmo. They match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues. They have promos each and every day. It's not just football, baseball, basketball. They got you covered. Esports even. That's right. They're that outlandish that you could play any way that you conceive, whether it's higher, lower, or weekly best ball. So remember, download the app, promo code Broshmo, get in on the action over at Underdog. But as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Number 5, Caleb Lomu out of Utah. He's 6'6", 304 pounds. I have a top 50 grade on him. He is currently a redshirt sophomore, so has 2 years of eligibility if he so chooses. And he's got long limbs. He's still filling out the frame, which is fine. It's A-okay. He just checks a lot of boxes when it comes to what you want from an NFL offensive tackle. It's just the play is still coming together. We got to see him in a matchup earlier this year against Texas Tech, where you're facing Romello Height and David Bailey, who are phenomenal, one of the best pass rush duos in all of college football, and he struggled in that game. Outside of that, though, I think he's done exceptionally well. He gets out of his stance quickly. He's smooth in his kick slide. He moves well. He mirrors well. He has the movement skills to pull across the formation. Very kind of ideal for a outside zone blocking scheme and outside zone heavy, I should say, blocking scheme. I think he's got solid strength to be able to redirect defenders in the passing game or in the run game, and he's able to anchor down in the passing game. But there are a lot of things I think he needs to still develop and clean up in terms of he's a bit lean. Continue to add mass. He will as he continues to get older. Again, redshirt sophomore we're talking about here. Doesn't always finish as a run blocker. So the NFL, they love that bury him 6 feet deep type of mentality, that nasty demeanor. I don't really see that in his game. I think he could do a better job of sustaining blocks in the run game. I feel like there are times where he's more conservative. Is that the best way? But it probably, yeah. I feel like he could be more proactive in his pass pro, and because he seems too relaxed, letting the defender, the edge rusher, come to him, and he's going to try to react based on what they're doing rather than it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and initiate contact here. I'm not going to let them drive me too deep into the pocket, into the backfield. And that way, by the time they start their moves, I'm already on the stinking heels of the lap of my quarterback. So I would like to see him be a little more proactive in that regard. There's little or no special teams experience, but again, that's kind of a nitpick here. I think that's more important for day 3 type of prospects, because it's like, well, how are you going to make the roster? Well, special teams. That's how you're going to make the roster. Is his first, he's in his second year as the full-time starter, and I think he has improved certainly in some areas. I think we're seeing maybe a little bit more movement in the run game, but still has to fill out the body, fill out the frame. But I think I've said this before, that I think if he returns for another year, he's probably a top 10 tackle in the 2027 draft. At number 4 and fast rising for me is Caden Proctor out of Alabama. He's 6'7", 360 pounds. I have a first round grade on him. And I say fast rising specifically for me, because after that season opener, I was like, golly, he feels so much more of a project than he should. He really, really does. But since then, he has cleaned up and rehabbed his stock immensely. I mean, and he's doing this against teams like Tennessee and Missouri and Georgia, South Carolina, Vandy. Vandy's got a solid enough pass rush as well. So he's done it against a very good competition, and he has been very stellar in that regard. And you could talk me into him being tackle one in this class because he has better length. He has better physical tools than some of, if not all three of the guys ahead of him. He is a mountain of meat that moves very well. So much so that they give this guy work in the run game, and even he had the screenplay against Georgia where he almost ran it in for a 10 to 11 yard touchdown. He made Bruce Feldman's freaks list for his athleticism at his size. And keep in mind, he is a true junior, another guy that can return, though I doubt it just because he's getting so much first round love, deservingly so. Some people view him as a guard because they worry about the leverage he plays with or doesn't play with. The hands, his ability to sustain on an island while he moves well for his size. Again, it's for his size at 360 pounds. Can you rely on him on an island? Will he look like that Florida State game in the NFL? I'm willing to throw him out there at tackle and just give it a whirl. And hey, worst case scenario, we kick him into guard and we're A-okay. Now, again, I've said earlier in this video, I hate tall guards. I do. But shoot, get him on a team like the Chargers where you got Mekhi Becton, Proctor. You just got now stupid, large, meaty boys that move well on the interior of that offensive line. Strong hands, very flexible, light-footed at that size. Does a good job of keeping a watch out for stunts, blitzes, late rushers, and whatnot. He's always looking for busy work, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy by how he rebounded after that Florida State game, because it was like, is this a discipline thing? Why did he look or seem so uninterested in? But since that game, he has been phenomenal. The hands can be low. There were a few holding calls, though he's only been penalized once this year. Big plus. The anchor and leverage gave way later as games go on. So there's a little bit of that fatigue. But Proctor, again, if you're like, oh, Proctor's my OT 1, 2, or 3, I'm not going to fight you on it. I think he's in that general vicinity. Coming in at number 3, it's Trevor Gooseby out of Texas. He's 6'7", 309 pounds. I also have a first-round grade on him. He was a guy that I planted my flag in at the beginning of the year, expected him to take that next step, and I think for the most part, he has taken that step. He was a former 3-star recruit from the 2023 recruiting class, and he is, I think, currently a redshirt sophomore or true junior. He's a third-year player and does have the option to come back. And I think he has top 10 potential in terms of similar to Lomu, guys that could find themselves in the top 10 discussion when it comes to the NFL draft. The dude was phenomenal last year, right? Played in 4 games. I think 2 of those were starts, but where he saw significant time, and it was right tackle, it was left tackle. He played both sides. And he stepped up in big games against Texas Tech or Texas A&M, Arizona State, Clemson. What was the other game? Was it Georgia? I believe it was Georgia. And this year, really the only game that I felt like kind of a poor game from him was the Florida game. Outside of that, he has been utterly phenomenal. And he made Bruce Feldman's freaks list at the beginning or right at the end of the summer for his speed and explosiveness, and like some of the numbers coming out about him are kind of nutty. If he performs like that at the combine, it's like that is rare air for a offensive tackle going to the NFL. And you see those movement skills on tape. You do. He glides in his kick slide. He has the agility and the patience to not overset, to be able to handle and turn away edge rushers of really any caliber. He's got good pop in his hands. He's hard to move. There's just so much to really like about him, on top of him showing the versatility to play both right and left tackle. However, there are a lot of areas he still needs to clean up. Keep in mind, first year as a starter, there are times where he's a little eager at the point of attack and gets brushed to the side. There are a couple of times where not necessarily oversteps, but he kind of like he fell for a couple of these like Euro step, basically kind of like fake outside, go inside, rocker steps, if you want to call them. I know they got a few names, or people refer to them a few different ways, but you'll see it earlier in games and where it might get him, but he also shuts it down later in games. And I think Florida game, you kind of saw that. There are times where he does struggle to locate defenders in zone blocking schemes, whether it's a puller or him just getting to the second level. I think that's just something that'll clear itself out in time as he gets more snaps, more starts under his belt. The penalties, they're 4 this year. It's not terrible. It's not bad. But he did have a penalty problem in the 4 games he did play, where he had 6. And again, this is last year, but I'm hoping he can keep it around 6. We'll see. Again, we still got much more football to be played. The hands are coming along. Again, by no means a finished prospect, but one that I'm very happy that I felt like I had to be, right? I had to be one of the first guys out there putting my flag in him saying, hey, yo, this guy can be it. At number 2, I have Spencer Fano out of Utah. He's 6'6", 302 pounds. He's playing right tackle there for Utah with Caleb Lomu playing left. I have a top 20 grade on Fano, whether you look at him as a tackle or as a guard. Probably should be the first thing we touch on is, okay, limited arm length. Some teams are just going to view him as a guard, but he's so good of an athlete, makes you think of like a Will Campbell type, where, yeah, Will Campbell didn't have ideal arm length, but he was such a good athlete that you're willing to be like, hey, you know what? You go out there on an island and let's see if you can survive in the NFL. I think Fano is in a similar class because he is so stupid explosive. And on top of that, he's able, especially as a run blocker, when they ask him to go and get after it, whether he's drive blocking, down blocking, he gets off the snap so quickly, he can create momentum just with that explosiveness, and he'll keep the legs moving. So rare movement skills also for the position, just a good combination of speed and power to be able to annihilate defenders in the run game. He creates good torque with strong hands. I like the foot quickness, his ability to recover after maybe initial losses. Does a good job picking up on stunts. Voted a team captain. Gotta love it. But hey, honestly, the arm length could honestly be an issue. We gotta look at him against Texas Tech. I brought it up with Caleb Lomu. He didn't have the best game against Texas Tech. Matter of fact, he cost his team a touchdown because of being illegally downfield. To be fair, in a very RPO heavy game or heavy scheme with a quarterback who's more known for his legs than his arm, I get it. I'm not bothered by it. There are times where he does play with wide hands. So if you got short hands, wide hands, I'm not loving that. He has been called for some holding in the past. Occasionally, he will overset, inviting defenders to cross his face and win with inside moves. When pulling and climbing, there are times at the second level, he just misses his target. Those are kind of few and far between, but something I didn't notice here and there, so I wrote it down. Bono, again, if you want to have a more toolsy prospects like Gooseby or Proctor ahead of him, I don't fault you. I don't blame you. I don't want to say that I'm not in that camp either. But I think they're all very close in a similar tier. And then for me, my number 1 is, well, a little further than those guys. And that number 1, it's Francis Maui Noah out of the U, baby, the U, big Hurricanes fan right here. But he's 6'6", 315 pounds. I have a top 10 grade on him. For me, he is a unanimous tackle 1 in this class. He's got a lineage. When it comes to the NFL, his brothers have either played or are currently playing in the NFL. Kind of a nice cherry on top there. He's a true junior, so can return if he wants to. I doubt it, because I think you could kind of plug and play him, whether that's at tackle or at guard. Again, there's going to be questions about his arm length. I think he's going to be right around that 33 inches, but I think he's got prototypical size for the position. He made Bruce Feldman's Freaks list for his explosive power. He's just a very smooth mover who consistently plays with great leverage, great balance. He'll keep the legs churning through contact. The hands are exceptionally quick and can be violent when he wants them to be. That's the thing. It feels like every now and then he kind of turns down the violence or turns down the nasty demeanor, whether it be in the run game or when he is taking on guys at the point of attack. Solid anchor. He can stop momentum at a drop of a dime, drop of a hat, drop of a pin, whatever the saying is. Nimble feet. He can mirror anyone, in my opinion, and can be a mauler in the run game. Would like to see that a little bit more consistently. Not a perfect prospect. I feel like the strikes can be mistimed and misplaced. Usually keeps his head on a swivel, but there are times where he will miss a delayed blitzer. I wouldn't call him explosive, but I think he's fluid. Again, these are kind of minor quibbles when trying to separate, okay, well, who's the top tackle in this class? I just think Maui Noa is closer to that than some of the other guys who have maybe had tougher matchups, or they have a game on their portfolio from this current season where it's like, I wish you were better than that. Like Caden Proctor, he's got Florida State. Trevor Gooseby has Florida. Spencer Fano has Texas Tech. I don't think Maui Noa has that questionable game where it's like, man, you just had a rough day at the office. I don't think he has that. But let's talk about some of the guys who just missed the list. I feel like I got to talk about Xavier Chaplin first and foremost. Someone who might end up being a guard at the NFL level, just because you kind of question his ability to stick around on an island. At that size, okay, I get it. He's not going to be the quickest or the fastest. And by the way, this is Xavier Chaplin out of Auburn, 6'7", 338 pounds. But I love the length. I love the size. I love the power he plays with. And then after that, you got Blake Miller, who I think is out of Clemson. He's 6'6". There we go. 315 pounds. I need more play strength from him. I can't trust him. I used to be a sucker for athleticism. I really did. But when it comes to the trenches, play strength matters. And I think his is below where you would want it to be for a guy you might take on day 2. Drew Shelton, he still feels more like a project than anything else, but the Penn State tackle here, coming in at 6'5", 303 pounds, I think is pretty impressive. Light on his feet. I love the lower body quickness. Just kind of needs to continue to add to his power profile. Some people like Jude Bowery out of Boston College. I think he's more of a guard in the NFL. I don't love his tape. His tape is too, there's just too much variation in his tape where it's like, oh, gets completely owned, or okay, there we go. That's a hell of a solid rep. Yeah, a couple of guys I've yet to check out. I've seen this dude's name pop up, Nicky Prongos out of Stanford. I was looking into at least his recruiter profile. He can return. He's a true junior currently at Stanford, formerly at UCLA. Just started playing football his senior year of high school, where I think he actually missed a bulk of the year because of a torn ACL. So really didn't have much of a recruiting profile because he just started playing his senior year, and he only played 3 games his senior year. Ended up walking on UCLA. Ended up being a starter within 2 years. So, yeah, I mean, okay. Maybe I got to go check this guy's tape out. There is Markel Bell out of Miami. I know he's had a couple of hit or miss games recently, but I am intrigued just by the size profile. 6'9", 345 pounds. That's just kind of nuts. I want to watch Corey Robinson bad, formerly of Georgia Tech, currently at Arkansas. He's 6'5", 307 pounds. Really do want to go over his tape. Some people I know coming into the year really liked Maxwell Ehanokor out of Arizona State. Another guy that's pretty raw, still putting it together. That's pretty obvious on his tape, not just from last year, but this year. But I get why people like some of the tools that he brings to the table, because he's got the strength, he's got the pop, he's got the movement skills. He just needs to kind of put all that together and learn how to play the tackle position. But outside of that, man, there's not a lot of tackles that drive me crazy, that drive me wild. And at the end of the day, when you have a tackle class that you're questioning if some of these guys, a lot of these guys might not have ideal length and might end up being better guards. I'm just going to say it's kind of feeling more so like a weak tackle class. I didn't really have that impression coming into the season. As the season's gone on, it's been like, okay, well, yeah. And I mean, this might be a, dare I say, below average tackle class. So if your team needs a tackle, maybe you should go find it in free agency. But that's it for the video. I'll be back with the cornerback position tomorrow. I love me the corner position. It's one of my favorite positions to evaluate. And I think one of the ones I actually do pretty well at when it comes to success at the NFL. But go ahead, let me know who are some of your favorite tackles who might be guards in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.